Hello everybody. This update from Lakshya Management Consultant Private Limited and Sterling International Consulting is covering a very important standard. The standard for food safety management system, widely known as ISO 22000 certification. Now generally people who are engaged into food supply line, or if you are a restaurant, you own any packaging, repackaging, manufacturing or transportation business supply specific to food safety, food items, you have a question in mind: what standard, what's ISO certification shall I implement, shall I go for? In this video update, we are going to tell you, if you are a part of the food chain, you are a stakeholder, which is the most appropriate standard for you, what is the requirement, what are the implementation specification you should be implementing, and what kind of standard you should go for. The standard most appropriate for any organization in the food chain is ISO 22000, that is food safety management system. Now people have a question, generally they are confused. If you are part of food chain, a lot of people come to us and say, shall I go for ISO 22000, shall I go for HACCP, or shall I go for ISO 9001? Now remember, the standard, most comprehensive standard is ISO 22000 food safety management system. If you are already having HACCP certification for your company, if you already have implemented ISO 9001 certification, getting an ISO 22000 certification would be very easy for you. Why? Because ISO 22000 standard is a combination of HACCP and part of ISO 9001. Now, assuming you as a part of food chain decide to go for ISO 22000 standard, how do you get started? As an organization, we are the largest ISO 22000 food safety management system certification consulting company with clients in more than 50 countries. More than 3000 clients have been benefiting from our services in the area of ISO certification. Come to us, become a part of our global family, and we take your project from start to finish with superb quality of service. If we tell you about the entire process you need to follow for ISO 22000 standard, it has to be very systematic, well planned and well implemented effort. The first step you need to do to achieve ISO 22000 certification is doing a comprehensive gap analysis. What you need to do is make sure that each and every operations, activities, processes of your organization, whether you are a restaurant, a warehouse, repackaging unit, manufacturing unit, or just a transportation organization involved into transportation of food items, each and every activity of a business needs to be benchmarked with ISO 22000 standard requirement. So we as a consulting company, we carry out a comprehensive gap analysis of your organization and come back to you and say, hey, this is what we have found, this is what are the requirement of ISO, and this is where you are. This is the gap. So that becomes our target action points. After we do the gap analysis, the biggest step that you need to take is creating a motivating environment in the organization for effective implementation of ISO 22000. Because remember, it is not just a certificate that you are aiming at. You are aiming at creating a world-class food safety environment in the organization. And that can only happen when everybody working in the organization, right from the top level to the bottom level of the organization, everybody becomes a part of the system. They all buy the concept. They all must feel they are part of the system. This can only happen through training. So we as an organization carry out intensive training programs for our people, for root level people, middle management, senior management, top management, covering different aspects of ISO 22000 standard, so that everybody is on the same platform. Because some people might have some prior exposure to ISO 22000 or HACCP or food safety management system, wherein some people would be absolutely new. So it is very important that everybody is on the same platform, and this is what we achieve through our training programs, awareness trainings. Now after the awareness training program has been started, on the basis of gap analysis, we start working with you to define your overall food safety management system policy, food safety policy. This is your strategic policy from top management, which tells you and everybody in the world that what your company stands for food safety, where you want to see your company in future with respect to food safety commitment and food safety performance. So we identify the food safety policy, and everything that you do in the process would be aimed at achieving your food safety policy, reaching near to your food safety policy. Now on the basis of food safety policy and your gap analysis that is being performed, we start working on your risk assessment or hazard analysis. Because what ISO 22000 standard says is, you should be able to identify the risk in the entire food chain. How do you do that? In case you are already HACCP certified, you have implemented HACCP, you would have an HACCP plan. In case you don't, then we as an organization help you put HACCP principles in place and help you identify critical control points in the entire processing. Now, technically we are looking at three kinds of hazards: physical hazard, chemical hazard, and biological hazard. Identify the critical hazards, identify critical limits, and make an action plan in terms of how to make sure these hazards do not happen, and if at all they occur, what is the corrective action. So carry out the risk assessment and put the risk assessment plan in place. After that, start working on your documentation in terms of your food safety manual. Even though it is not asked by the standard specifically, nowhere standard says that you should have a document called as food safety management system, but it's a good practice to have that manual. Start working on the mandatory procedures for which we provide you complete assistance. Have the necessary checklist, formats, templates, implement. Then important part you need to do is carry out an internal audit. Now we provide you training for internal auditing. Carry out internal audit. Make sure findings of internal audit are properly been taken care of. They are closed. We as an organization would carry out a pre-assessment audit for you to make sure that your organization is ready for certification. Nothing has been left out from ISO standard perspective and you are ready. Once we are confident of your preparation and your level of implementation, we give you go ahead. You invite the certification body. If you need assistance, we help you in selecting the most appropriate certification body. The certification auditor will come. They do stage 1 and stage 2 audit. And after the audit, you are certified. Now, it's a good news that you are getting certified, but it does not end there. Because once you get ISO 22000 certified, your responsibility, your commitment, and people's expectation increases much more. And you are expected to live up to that expectation. So make sure that ISO 22000 food safety management system implementation is continually being improved. Have regular management review meeting, identify the critical improvement areas, do rigorous objectives for your food safety, have regular internal audits done, comprehensive audits, and make sure this system, food safety management system, becomes a culture. Now as an organization, Sterling International Consulting or Lakshya Management Consultant, we provide you complete start to finish assistance. We can take up your project on turnkey basis and make sure that everything you need to put up a robust and effective food safety management system is being taken care of. We are the largest ISO 22000 certification consulting company. We know what it takes to build a very result oriented system. Talk to us. You can visit us at iso-consultants.com or uaeiso.com. Write us an email or contact us through our 24-hour customer care. We are here to help you achieve your overall business vision, mission and corporate goals. Thank you very much.